It's 11 a.m. here in Seoul. I'm Yoon Jung-min at the Arirang News Center. We are breaking into our regular programming for a live briefing from the South Korean health authorities on the coronavirus outbreak. We will be crossing over to the briefing with simultaneous interpretation in English. As of Saturday, South Korea has reported 580 new COVID-19 cases, most of which are concentrated in the capital area. The current social distancing level stays in place until tomorrow, and the government is to announce extended social distancing measures this morning. It has imposed level 2.5 social distancing for the capital area and level 2 for other regions until January 17th. Also, private gatherings of 5 or more people are banned nationwide. The South Korean government advises people to abide by social distancing and keep good hygiene. Some businesses can open as the government has eased restrictions, but they have to stick to certain conditions. Private academies in the capital region can open as long as they only have 9 students and staff or fewer present at one time. Also, ski resorts can operate as long as they limit their capacity to 1/3 and close after 9 p.m. And Seoul's Defense Ministry is extending the current distancing measures in the military as well. Vacations and off-site trips are banned for soldiers until January 17th. The briefing is just about to start. Let's take a look.
I am Vice Head 1 of the Central Disaster and Safety Countermeasure Headquarters and Health Minister Gov'T. In order to contain the third wave of the outbreak here in the South Korea, we have put in place the level 2.5 social distancing measures in the metropolitan area and level 2 in the elsewhere. And this will be coming to an end on January 17th, which is tomorrow. And starting from the 4th of January, we have put a ban nationwide on any private gatherings of 5 or more people. And thanks to such efforts, our peak of the third wave has ended in December, and we are now in the slow downturn in the COVID-19 outbreak. However, many countries around the world have took extreme measures like a countrywide lockdown. However, they are also going through great difficulties and being difficult to able to contain the virus. And to this end, the South Korean government has refrained from upgrading our social distancing measure to the highest level of level 3, and we have been putting under control our pandemic to a large extent. We believe that this is a very great achievement that we have made, and this was all possible thanks to the participation of the public. And I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to all of you once again. Nevertheless, on the other hand, we also have many challenges with the prolonged outbreak of the COVID-19, and there are many small business owners as well as self-employed going through great difficulties as well. And we are also faced with the controversies of the equity and fairness of such policies. And I would like to also extend my deepest apologies for your grave situations. However, nevertheless, we also want to note that you have been participating in these measures despite these challenges. And the government has talked continuously with related associations and people on the field. And we also carried out discussions with the pan-government organizations. And we have been adjusting and detailed the measures of the social distancing measure to be applied from 18th of January. First, in the metropolitan area, we will be extending for the next 2 more weeks the social distancing measure level 2.5 in the capital area and level 2 in other regions. We were able to downturn the and turn around the COVID-19 situation. However, we cannot stay complacent as of yet. And we still have about 510 daily tallies for the past week. And this is also not yet at the threshold of level 2. And we also like to note that we also have the winter variable, the seasonal variable of winter, where we could also see a spike in the number of cases. And we also have many risks of local transmissions. And we believe that the easing of the restrictions will be lowered until we have the level 2 threshold, which is about 400. And in the metropolitan area, we will be restricting all of the group gatherings of more than 50 people and over 100 people nationwide. And also, we would like to extend the gathering ban on 5 or more people around the country as well for the next 2 weeks. So nationwide, we will also note that all of you who are planning to dine in at a restaurant with 5 or more people, this will be banned as well. And the gathering ban will be put in place at party rooms and other similar accommodations. And we will also continue to put in place the capacity ban on the 2/3 of the booking of the reservations for hotels and guest houses, as well as other facilities of hospitalities. And this has been put in place as we need to further have a significant downturn in the number of tallies. And starting also, we will also intensify our quarantine measures for nursing hospitals, religious facilities, and correctional facilities going forward. And as for the nursing hospitals, we will be designating and mobilizing on-site emergency response teams as well. And as for these staff members for the correctional facilities, we will also carry out regular PCR testing as well. And as for the religious facilities, we will be having revival of the face-to-face services, including the regular services, regular mass, as well as the gatherings at temples, and they will be allowed until the 10% of their user capacity in the metropolitan area and about 20% of the user capacity in non-metropolitan areas as well. And together with all of these group gatherings, including group meals, as well as other Bible studies and other visits, other prayer meetings will be banned on the other hand. And also all of the retreats and aside from the regular services, all of the gatherings will be also banned as well. And third, we have seen a major decline in the outbreak centering around the multi-use facilities, and we believe that there are also difficulties in the livelihoods of these owners. So we will be easing these restrictions conditionally, and they will be expanded and extended by gradual means. And as for these easing of the restrictions, we'll also be going to these targets for those businesses that have been under gathering ban. And aside from all of these business operations, aside from the nightlife entertainment establishments, we will be resuming operations. And also this include the door-to-door sales facilities, as well as singing rooms, as well as private cram schools as well, and indoor sports gyms. And these also had a high rate of cluster infections earlier in November. So even though we open and we ease the restrictions, we would like to note that they need to comply with strict quarantine measures. So we would like to limit the capacity users by 1 user per every 8 square meters, and they need to have a strict abidance to the visitor log as well. And also, as for the facilities with higher risks of infection, the users will be limited to 1 per every 16 square meters. And within these facilities, we need to also abide by the fact that they need to comply with 2-meter distancing, and also they need to abide by the ban on consumption of food and beverages as well. And they will be implied for and put in place for all of these multi-use facilities, and all of these gatherings, these facilities will also be subject to the gathering ban on 5 or more people. So we will be providing a detailed, tailored guidelines for each of the facilities, and please abide by these measures, and please refer to the press kits for detailed information. For instance, at singing rooms, the people need to also sanitize the area after one team has left. And also as for clubs and other pubs, 5 types of these nightlife entertainment establishments, as well as the Hold'em pubs, they will also However, they will be extended with these restrictions of the gathering ban because they have an extremely high risk of a COVID-19 outbreak. And we also will be adjusting these measures for the coffee shops nationwide. Up until now, many coffee shops across the world have been subject to a ban on dining in, and they will also only allowed with the takeout and delivery. However, they will be now allowed to have dine-in services spaces. However, they need to abide by the restriction of users by 50%, and they need to have partitions in between these tables, and also they need to also keep a healthy distance among the tables as well. And they need to abide by the face mask wearing rules as well. And the restaurants also go under the same target guidelines. And together with these measures, all of those accommodations at ski resorts nationwide will be lifted with their restriction ban. And also, as for the locker rooms and game rooms, they will be restricting the users for one user for every 8 square meters. However, we would be putting in place the gathering ban for the shuttle buses as well. And we will be extending the business operations after the 9 p.m. And currently in the metropolitan area, we also have the gathering ban on and the opening business of opening ban on the 9 p.m. for 14 facilities in the metropolitan area and 6 facilities in the non-metropolitan area. However, we believe that if we extend and ease these measures and lift these measures, we believe there could be a hike in people-to-people contact. And also, as we put in place the gathering ban on 5 or more people, we believe that this could also have a synergy effect in banning all of the business operations after 9 p.m. So we will be putting this in place as well. And as for the details for the future, we will be discussing the details after the next 2 weeks. And together with these easing of the restrictions, as for the public indoor sports facilities, as well as libraries, public libraries, and other public facilities will also open up their services as well. And all of the welfare facilities within the apartment complexes will also resume their operations as well. However, we would like to note that it is not yet a time for us to stay complacent, so these measures will be eased only gradually and by phases. And we will also be taking into further consideration by phases. So please bear with us for the time being, and please cooperate so that we can ease and have a downturn in the daily tally going forward. And as for the facility owners and staff members and users for these multi-use facilities which are subject to the new gathering restrictions, we ask for your participation as well. The government will also exert our full efforts to intensify our monitoring as well. And as for the breaches, we will also take stern legal measures against any breaches that happen. And as for the facilities that see another resurgence of cluster outbreak, we will be putting in place intensified measures if needed. And we will also adjust these measures by opening our ears to the opinions on the public. And we will also like to provide some detailed information about the special Lunar New Year holiday gathering, the social distancing measures. And considering this aspect, starting from the February 2nd to 14th for the 2 weeks, these 2 weeks will be designated as a special quarantine period. And we ask you to also refrain from visiting your hometowns, your family members, and your parents, and also refrain from having travels during the upcoming Lunar New Year holiday. So we believe that this is essential because we could also put in at risk the stake and the health of many parents as well as our relatives and loved ones. So we also will be restricting the number of train seats that will be being unsold, and they will only apply for the window seats. They will only be sold as for the trains. And as for the expressways, we will also put in place the toll fees as we did in the last year's Chuseok. So during the Lunar New Year holiday, we ask you to meet remotely, and starting from the 18th of January, we will also provide the online and remote ancestral grave visits, and we will also you will be able to make reservations as well. And as for the royal palaces and the museums nationwide, we will be having online reservations, and we will restrict the number of users by 30%. And we will also prepare for possible measures, and we will provide the 1399 call center. This hotline will be operated so that you could get detailed information about the COVID-19 outbreak. And as for these special times, we will have an emergency scheme for ER rooms as well as screening facilities and screening centers as well. And even during these Lunar New Year holiday, we will continue to put in place intensified quarantine measures for all foreign entrants to the country. And we will also have a 24/7 run of the monitoring of those who are on self-quarantine. And as we did last year during the Chuseok holiday, we had a safe holiday, and we also hope the same could happen during the upcoming Lunar New Year holiday. We ask for your participation to ensure a safe holiday. And we see some signs of recovery and overcoming of the COVID-19 outbreak. If we are able to overcome this outbreak, we believe that we can take proactive measures, including rollout of the vaccines and therapeutics, and we will also be able to return to our sense of normalcy. And until the mid-February, until we have the special quarantine measures for the Lunar New Year holiday, we believe that we can also return back to our normalcy as soon as possible. So until then, we ask for your participation. Please refrain from having any social gatherings, physical contacts, and also comply with stringent quarantine measures. And as for your family members who are living apart, please share your phone calls while also postponing physical meetings and gatherings. We believe that these challenges endured by the public could also bear fruit, and to this end, the government will also exert our full efforts. Thank you very much.
예, 지금부터 질의응답 시간을 가지겠습니다.
That wraps up our coverage of the briefing this morning. Thank you for staying with us. We will be back with our regular newscast at 12 p.m. Korea time. Goodbye.
As the COVID-19 pandemic protracts, all eyes are now on vaccines that can beat the coronavirus. Fortunately, vaccinations are underway beginning with the US and Europe in December last year.